I basically woke up on my 30th birthday and was so depressed because not only was I in a stranger's bed, covered in DNA, probably dehydrated, head pounding, already late for work, probably have to call out, a job that I didn't like, three people in a two-bedroom, and I was so depressed for the younger version of myself who like did not need any of the things I thought I needed mere hours ago.
Hey, Zach, welcome to Drunkish. I'm so happy that you agreed to do this. You're so funny.
Oh my God, thank you. What a great start. Toss a little compliment my way. Yeah, I saw Rosebud did the pod, and I'm a follower of Rosebud to the ends of the earth. So I'm like, if she's in the Stefanie crew, get me in there too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Rosebud gave me a blurb for my book, for my memoir about getting sober,
Oh my
Drunkish. Yeah.
God. Wait, how is the book out?
Yeah, it's been out for a couple years.
Oh my God, okay. I will look for it because I love reading about people. I love reading memoirs especially, but like for it to be like a sober thing, like that's exciting.
I tried to be one of the few people that was writing a memoir about getting sober, about, what can be a dark topic, as you know,
Mm,
but with jokes.
yep.
Why do we have to be so fucking serious?
I mean, I have found that because alcoholics and drug addicts have seen the worst of human nature and their human nature, like oftentimes like they are the best like crowd. Like not saying a crowd, but like I speak at recovery meetings and like I tell dark ass jokes about like almost having died or whatever and they can laugh because they're like same girl plus worse, you know? Yeah.
Right, exactly. So I did the math based on your social media, and I'm you have over 10 and a half years of sobriety.
I have definitely over 10. Oh, maybe it is to over 10 and a half.
It
My sobriety
seems
date
like
is
November
yes, November
27th.
27th, 2015. Wow, okay.
I did my
Sure.
research.
Yeah, you're an internet stalker girl who can like be like, I met a guy in a red shirt at Trader Joe's, and you're like, I'll find him.
Well, you made a post about somehow I saw a post about your sobriety date, and I read the post, and it was from last year
Mm-hmm.
where you were talking about how your sobriety date is even bigger to you than your birthday. And I really
Yeah,
related to that.
1,000,000%. Is your birthday, how long have you been sober, if I may ask?
17 years.
Wow. Oh
Yeah.
my
Mine's
gosh, you're
May
almost legal.
22nd,
Okay. And then when's your belly button birthday?
July 5th coming up.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. So I'm that's exciting. Actually, I like it the way I have it because my natal birthday is like 6 weeks before my sober birthday. So the natal birthday feels like a wind up, and I'm like, oh my God, my sober birthday's coming up. Like, let's go. But yeah, it's like we had very little to do with our birth dates, like our natal birth dates. But like my sobriety date is something I hold on to with pride, especially. I don't know how you felt hitting the 10-year mark, but it did feel like, oh, this is real. Like this is actually like a portion of my life, you know?
Yeah, I really agree with that. When I first got sober, and I want to hear about yours, I just remember thinking like 10 years seemed absolutely insane. Like
Insane.
I would have to be very old when I got to be 10 years sober. To me, I remember being 11 days sober and meeting somebody, a guy who had 9 months. And I was like, whoa, how does
Whoa.
that even, how
Crazy.
9 months? That's insane.
Bonkers. A baby, I could have had a baby. I could have made a human being in the time you have not put a drink to your lips. I am one of those people too who like I don't know why, because now thinking of this sentence, it really doesn't make sense to me. But I'm one of those people who heard the phrase, um, you never have to drink or use again. And it changed my brain chemistry. I had never thought that that was on the table. like I was so drinking and drugging was like so part of my lifestyle, and it was so part of everyone I hung out with lifestyle, that to me we were the cool kids. We were living life. We were doing it. And like alcohol and drugs were just one of the many benefits, like to me it felt like, oh, I'm about to lose like a badge of honor. Like I like it didn't make sense. And then when someone's like, you never have to drink or do drugs again, I was like, that's crazy. That's
Were
crazy.
you doing stand up when you got sober?
Yeah, I was probably not well, because I've been doing stand-up like 15 years and I've been sober 10. So the first five were very much me, like, a shot before my set, a beer during my set, sometimes more. If there was a green room with like high quality alcohol, I was hitting it hard. I definitely remember going up on stage and being very drunk, but like always skating by. Like people were rebooking me, probably because I was like a 26-year-old gay slut. And like they were like, he was fun. Like he was unhinged, but he was fun. And yeah, so I definitely like, I used to think that drugs and alcohol made me like calm in my body and like more in tune with the room. Little did I know, it was absolutely doing the opposite. It was putting up a wall between me and the room. It was me on my journey, them on theirs. And so when I got sober, it was very uncomfortable being on stage at first. But then I was like, oh, I'm picking up on this girl's side eye when I say this one thing. And so I get to zoom in on her. Would have never even noticed there was a girl sitting in that chair when I was drunk, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because I had this a similar, I mean, I did stand up for a lot of years and I had it down to a science. I was like, I have one drink for, at some point it was a glass of wine and a half a Xanax. And I was like,
Yeah.
that puts me in my body, calm, able to quiet some of the voices that are like, I don't know how
Yes.
this set's going to go. I don't know how this audience. I was like,
Yes.
it's cool. It's cool. Whatever it happens, even if I bomb, but of course, sometimes I would miss that mark
Yep.
and have like two glasses of wine and then sometimes I got the feedback that I was a little
Vacant.
off or a little slurry or a little whatever. Yeah. But that first time doing stand up without anything was like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Actually, one of the first times I did stand up after getting sober, new sobriety, it was the first like I was part of a pilot episode of an MTV show about this show called Brouhaha, which was a very popular show on the East Side. It was in the backyard of this like house in Los Feliz. They had like free beer, and it was a drinking game, and the comics didn't know the rules. So like you were unknowingly breaking rules. The audience was like, "Oh, drinking and stuff." So I got booked as one of the comics on the pilot episode for MTV's version of this, and I was like, well, I can't drink. And they were like, "Okay, we'll put you up first and we'll have someone drink instead of you." We shot this pilot in San Diego. It was outdoors at a brewery or like a beer garden in front of 900 people. And I was shaking. Like I was so scared. I didn't have my tool to be comfortable. I didn't know how the crowd was going to react. I made a joke about being sober and how I'm a loser for it or whatever. That went over well. And it wound up being a great set. And it's just like, yeah. So that first time on stage, it's just like, it's so different.
So it sounds like you loved drinking and using and thought it was part of your identity. So can you tell me what led to you quitting?
Yeah, I did think it was part of my identity. I'm definitely one of those people who like when I was young, I saw my male family members, like uncles and people like that. They were like Irish Catholic. When they got a little loose, like after a couple like brown liquors and stuff, they got a little bit more friendly, a little bit more fun, a little bit less threatening. And like the fact that I couldn't have it made me want it even more. So like alcohol was very much like this, like, okay, it's like fun, it's silly, it's off limits. In movies and TV, it's sexy, so like when I had my first drink in high school, like my first drunk rather, and then like you said earlier, the voices quieted. Like being a scared, gay kid in the Midwest, like I was so on edge the whole time, and that went away. And it really did drop my shoulders down. It gave me the courage to like go to the parties, to talk to the boys, to be silly. I thought it made me funnier. It was like it was magic. My drinking also follows that path, magic, medicine, misery, and like it was fucking magic. That those first, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, and then it was like, oh, I need this to go into the bar because I feel uncomfortable in my own skin and my body's adjusted to this, and now this is the new normal. But it happened slowly, right? Like as someone said, like I don't know why I'm an alcoholic. It must be that at some point I drank too much too often. And I do think about that, like how like our lives are so delicately on the paths that they're on. And it's like maybe if I had had like a near death experience when I was in high school driving around drunk, may have been scared straight. But like that didn't happen. I was like touched by an angel until the day I got sober. Like I should be dead. I'm sure you maybe feel the same, like several times over. Like rationally speaking, I should not be alive. And like it just became part of my lifestyle because there were no massive consequences. Um, I'm realizing now, the longer I stay sober, the consequence was missing out on a lot of potential for how I could have been living my life. I know we don't regret the past or wish to shut the door on it, but I think about how greatly my life has improved in 10 years and how it's aligning with the hopes and dreams of little Zach, the version of me that had never experienced drugs and alcohol and just had these kind of like pure dreams. Like I think the consequence wasn't losing my leg in a motorcycle accident or killing a family on the highway. It was veering so far off path that I had to claw my way back. And like that's still I got off pretty easy, and I will say now like I am deeply grateful for being an alcoholic because it's led me to recovery. It's led me to rooms of recovery. It's led me to so many of my best, purest relationships. And like it's given me God, which I grew up Catholic. I never had a God. Like I was so vehemently against anything that sounded like God or, had a mouthpiece for God. And like, yes, it's been a bumpy road, but like, damn, things have been good for a bit now. And I think they're going to keep getting better.
I want to go back to you were saying growing up as a gay kid in the Midwest. I feel like a lot of us, I'll say, I'm not gay, but I have other things, other childhood trauma stuff that I feel like when I drank, it just made me feel less
Yep.
different,
Yep.
less like people were going to figure out that I'm not lovable,
Hmm.
whatever that thing is. And then if you start at a young enough age, because I was 14 when I started drinking,
Yeah.
and you don't have consequences, which I also didn't really have in high school, except horrible hangovers,
Sure.
waking up with regret, but also all of my other friends were doing it too.
Hmm.
So, um, it took me until I was 42 to get sober just because of what you're saying, just no real consequences. And for so long, I felt like, well, this helps me. This helps me be braver. The first time I did stand up, I had like 6 rum and cokes at an open mic night. There's no way I could have done that. No way. I was so scared, right? So for a long time, it's a tool, right? To feel
Absolutely.
good. And maybe I don't know if you were out in high school. I'd love to know like what that was like. Did you need the alcohol for that?
I had a soft coming out at 16. I was obviously gay. Like looking back, I was obviously gay. I literally took ballet and stuff like that. And like, this is crazy too. I haven't had long hair since like high school. And so I had like long, swishy hair and I like dressed cute and like, but I didn't get bullied really badly. It was like underclassmen who didn't know who I was might like toss a F slur at me occasionally. But like, I started the Gay Straight Alliance in my high school as a straight person. Like it was like not as bad as other kids had it. Like because I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, not like rural Missouri. But it's like in some it's tool. It was a tool. And I think about how it was kind of like a one size fits all tool. Like because I don't know about you, like I didn't grow up with like therapy really on the table. I think I went to see a child therapist when my parents got divorced for like 1.5 sessions, like, but it felt very foreign, felt very weird. My parents weren't really about mental health, but because it wasn't a thing in the 90s, I don't think to really like dive into, okay, like, how are you coping with this one bully? Or like, how are you feeling about being out at school? Like, it was like, good luck, kid, and so drugs and alcohol were the tool. It's like, taking aspirin for fever, aches, body pain, headache, not it's just like, okay, this is it. I'll just do more of it or less of it. And yeah, and that's the point where it was magic because I was like, oh, and I look cool when I'm doing it. Like I'm a rebel. I'm like a bad kid. Like I'm straying away from like the young life Christian friends. Like I'm gonna go drink with my musical theater friends. It's like smoke a cigarette but not inhale it and everything. And like it like led to community. Like being this is the other funny thing. Like drunks really do show up for you, like show up for other drunks. Like they will puke and rally. They will cover for you at work. They will like because they know what that life is like. I wouldn't trade them for my support system now, but like it is a community. Alcoholism, there is a community there. And I think it just gets to the point where those hangovers last longer, the emotional hangovers last longer. You know, people are maybe drinking less than the people used to in college or whatever. You know what I mean? Like your community kind of thins out. And I did forget how we got to me saying this, but you said something about what was like being gay in high school, I think.
Hmm.
But to just piggyback on your word, or you bringing up tools, it was alcohol was the tool. It made me feel calm. It made me feel funny. It made me feel sexy. All my first sexual experiences were with drunk straight guys, in the end of high school, beginning of college. College is when I officially like came out and there was like a big community and it was I've made friends very quickly and blah blah blah. But yeah, in high school it was fear was in the driver's seat and alcohol was the thing that could like rip the steering wheel out of fear's hands.
And the thing about drinking is that, like, let's say you go to college, you're meeting lots of other gay people, but yet you still have to use the alcohol, even because you don't just go like, oh, I guess I don't need this anymore because it's
No.
cool now.
No.
You just use it more. That's the thing. It's progressive, as we
Yes.
know. But like for me, I kept thinking, well, once I'm not stressed out about whatever the thing is that's happening in my life, then I'll naturally drink less. Every single time it just escalated. Whatever until the
Of
next thing
course.
happened. There was a period of time where I wasn't drinking as much when I was younger, but that's because I was then in like an eating disorder. But like I look
Sure.
back and I go, "Oh, so you were just doing something else."
Well, and this is like the whack-a-mole of it all. And it's something I'm still experiencing 10 years sober. I catch myself in these like food blackouts where I'm just eating. I actually do not feel good in my stomach, but the pizza is still there, the ranch is still there. My mind goes into the fuck it's category. And then I'm like, okay, well, I did that. Let's also do a brownie sundae. Oh, I don't have brownies. I'll find myself walking to 7-Eleven to get brownies and ice cream. It's like that like disease still wants me dead. It still wants me like exhausted by carnal pleasures and it wants me distracted and it still wants me to be like, you're not comfortable. I know it would make you comfortable for a little bit. What if we lose ourselves in dominoes? And it's just, yeah, it's so interesting because in that way it's like, wow, I guess it'll never end. But that's why I thank God for sobriety. I'm picking up tools still. Like, I don't know about you, I don't drink that much water. And like I know that water will make my life better. I resist it. I'm like, Diet Coke, a Celsius, a Red Bull, maybe that'll give you a little tingle. And so it's just like this thing of, oh, I'm gonna be playing this game, seven trash cans, six lids, maybe till I die, but like hopefully I stay in my recovery program. I stay surrounded by winners. I give myself more evidence that eating salad is more satisfying than eating fries. Like that. And sorry, I'm using food stuff, and I'm so sorry. You just said food eating disorder, and I think I like latched onto it. But it's like, cake, cash, cock, cake, cash, cock. Like I'm like those are my things. I'm like, well, is there a boy who likes me? No, you're less than. You're pitiful. You're ugly. You're evil. Lose some weight, fatty. Like, and then it's like, oh, this isn't working. Maybe I'll eat the whole cake that my friend left here after her birthday. It's just like our brains.
My daughter brought home a half a cake
Yeah.
from, and
Yeah. I'm with you.
17 years sober. My daughter brought home half a cake from something. She was like, I had like one piece of it there, but they were going on a trip the next day. So she brought
Yeah.
it home and it sat on our stove. And I just kept
Yeah.
going back to it and opening it up and like, I'm just gonna have one bite. And then I'd be like, I'm just gonna have a sliver. I'm just gonna have one piece of it.
Yeah.
And couldn't stop until it was gone.
Yeah, you're like, let's get it the fuck out of here. Let's just eat it. Because then in my head, I'm like, well, one bad night is better than three bad days. And like, I'm not gonna throw it in the trash can. Like, I know my disease well enough for that. I'm like, okay, let's talk about this because you're right. I'm not gonna spray it with Windex. Like, I'm just not gonna do it. I'm also probably not gonna ask a friend to come over and help me. So it's just like, my best solution is like, scarf it now, go to bed, wake up, brand new day.
Start over.
But isn't
Yes.
that funny too? Because it's like we could have had a sliver for 5 days in theory. Like there is a world in which, and that's not that bad. A sliver of cake is like not that bad. But I think the disease kicks in and they're like, it's better than a sliver, you dumb bitch. 5 slivers right now. Yeah.
I have to do everything. I mean, I've talked about this before on this podcast, but before I got sober, I remember getting a prescription for Vicodin for breakthrough migraine pain,
Mm.
and I somehow got 100 of them, and I had to take. I mean, I would, it'd start out take a couple. Oh, I have Vicodin. Take a couple. Then it's like, oh, well, now I don't feel that as much. So let me take a couple more, and like I could be through that in a week or less.
Also, did you also go like, is a headache coming on?
Yes.
Is it okay? I
Is
better
it really
just in case.
gone
Just in
too? Like,
case. Yeah. Let's really put it to bed. I get it. I get it. It's a bummer that we can't be trusted with ourselves. But it's so much better than it was, you know?
okay, so when it started to become misery, I love your thing, magic medicine misery. When it entered the misery portion, what was that like? I mean, were you waking up with horrible hangovers? Were you doing things that you kind of regret but not getting a DUI? Like what was life?
Yeah, it was all the things that you just mentioned. And I basically woke up on my 30th birthday and was so depressed because not only was I in a stranger's bed, covered in DNA, probably dehydrated, head pounding, already late for work, probably have to call out, a job that I didn't like, three people in a 2 bedroom. And I was so depressed for the younger version of myself who like did not need any of the things I thought I needed mere hours ago. And physical pain, mental pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain, what I now would identify as spiritual pain. Um, and I just had to have this come to Jesus moment where I was just like, I don't have a dimmer switch when it comes to this. Like, I cannot drink a glass of wine. I don't have any interest in a glass of wine. I want to split a bottle, then I want to go to liquor, then I want to do some coke, and then I want to have sex with a stranger who thinks I'm super hot. Like, and if I don't get all those things, I'm depressed. I'm lowering the standards for those things. I'm just scratching at an itch that will not go away. And alcohol and drugs, I finally identified as a hurdle that I was putting in front of myself. And because up until this point, I'd done all the, I think, classic bartering that we are wont to do, where it's like, okay, no dry month, no alcohol for the month. I'd make it. It would be the best month ever. but day 31, head in a toilet, throwing up from too much Franzia. And it's like, I did, it's so crazy looking back and being like, I didn't even realize that like it was a great month not drinking because I celebrated by getting drunk and being like, oh, okay, it's not a problem. Life is not that bad. I was being dramatic and then reset, you know? So like the misery of it all is just so scary because it's so funny you said you're having comedians on to be funny. I feel like I haven't said anything funny this whole
You've been
entire podcast.
so funny, first of
Okay, okay.
all. Yeah. Let me give you that
But
validation that we all need.
also,
You're
yeah,
very, very funny. I didn't mean like just make a lot of hard jokes about it. I just meant
totally a little lighthearted. Yeah. Well, and also that obviously I blame everything on my disease too. My disease in the back heckling me like you're boring her.
you're
But
not boring. Well, okay, you know what my brain goes? You already told that story before. Stop interjecting.
oh
Stop.
my God. No, I get that too. And of course, like one listener will leave one review, like she talks about herself too much. And out of 100 reviews, you'll memorize that one. But so the misery of it all was I did not trust the words that came out of my own mouth. And that was so depressing, so scary. Also, I was dealing with depression and anxiety, which runs in my family, but I wasn't medicated for it. I was too scared to find a therapist because I was like, that costs too much money. I can't afford it. Like, I don't want to be dependent on a pill. How scary. What if I run out of the pills? You know, anxiety. But like the idea that I would wake up in the morning, be like, okay, I work my serving shift. After that, I get off at 2 p.m. I'll go home, I'll work out, and then I'll write or whatever the thing was, the productive thing that my path was calling me to do. I'll prep for the show tonight. I'll write some new jokes, whatever it was. But then towards the end of the shift, my coworker goes, "Do you want to have our shift drink? Because our place let you have a free drink after the shift." And okay, yeah, it's in West Hollywood. It's a diner. It's cute. There's gay guys there. Have a drink. Well, do you want to go to Trunks? It's a dive bar, half a mile away. We just go one. It's a happy hour. It's 2 for 1. Like just you'll be home by like dinner time. And then cut to, Sticky and Van Nuys in a stranger's bed looking for a piece of mail to find out their name, where I am. And like I didn't do the thing I was dead set on doing. And so it's like, who changed the plan? And it's like, oh, the disease did. The part of me that succumbs to that. The part of me that believes that voice that like YOLO, this is what life is about, making out with a guy in an alley, like this is living. Like yeah, cunning, baffling, powerful is something that's said. And it's just like I so many mornings woke up regretful, so many mornings woke up not remembering what I did, so many mornings waking up wondering if I still had friends. And like again, because the consequences kind of ended there, besides maybe wasted potential, I just kept getting over them until it was finally too much. And I think it was honestly, thank God for turning 30, because I was like, there's another voice that came in and said, it's not cute anymore. It's not cute. Like what you're doing, it's not cute. It's not what would make little Zach proud. It's not something to brag about at a function, start showing up. Like, let's get real.
So what'd you do?
So at this point I had like rage quit my serving job because I obviously thought I was the smartest person in the room. And I
You're
put
speaking my, yeah, I feel every
oh,
word of that. I've quit
oh.
so many waiting tables jobs. Yeah,
And at some
mad
point,
and thought I was the smartest and was like, they don't know how to run this. Yet
yeah,
no one ever wanted to make me a manager of anything, but I knew better than
of
everybody how to run a restaurant.
of course not. And God forbid a customer gave me any sort of sass towards the end. Oh, baby, I will ruin the rest of this meal and I'll make you pay for this. Which it's just like, and I also think I've been like in customer service for too long. And it's like, I think you have a life expectancy in in that field where I couldn't bend over anymore. I was just it was a storm, you know.
I waited tables till I was 28. I got my first, I got a TV writing job at 28. But prior to that,
Wow.
I'd waited tables for over 10 years, like since I was 16. And the last 6 weeks, I got fired from three serving jobs within 6 weeks. And then I was like, I got to do something
Oh.
else because no one will
Oh.
hire me. Who's going to hire me? I have
Wow.
no references at this point. Yeah, it was bad.
You're
I
like,
got the
"Can I send
last
you my
one.
spec script?"
I got fired from the last one in one night, the first night. It was an Irish pub. And yeah,
You're like,
anyway.
"No. Like you're gross. This is bad. How
So
stupid."
so you had rage quit your
Rage
job.
quit my serving job. I posted on Facebook. I needed work, and three people reached out to give me work. Since I in the year coming found out that they were all in a recovery program, which I thought was beautiful because like I didn't really have anything to do with recovery. I kind of thought those were losers. I thought those were, you know, people who lived under bridges with, you know, brown paper bags. And one of them let me clean his Airbnb property, and he would just listen to me tell my little sad stories. And he took me to my first meeting, a recovery meeting, and it was big and loud and filled with a mix of people. I of course latched onto the rougher looking people and been like, well, this isn't me. Obviously, this is not me. I shouldn't be here. Thank you for bringing me, but no. But then this speaker at this recovery meeting really he made me laugh and he made me cry and it gave me like just enough faith to like go check out another recovery meeting and that was the beginning of it. Like I thank God for recovery in LA too because there's recovery meetings all over of different clans or whatever, different like groups, different sects of recovery, sects. And I made recovery meetings a big part of my. I still go to like a meeting every day for the most part. Like
Wow.
it's like how I start my day. It's like when I'm really happy, I go to a meeting. When I'm really sad, I go to a meeting. When I'm feeling regular, I go to a meeting. I'm really stressed in this today, and I almost my disease, of course, is like, we'll skip the meeting and like go for a walk instead, which wouldn't have been the worst thing. But like I was like, no, 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 no. I know better than to listen to that voice. And so it was like, yeah, it was a slow thing. And the only thing I did perfect the whole time since, you know, November 27th, 2015, besides not drink and do drugs, is I've made my bed every day. And it's like an esteemable act, you know, they say. And it's like, this is bringing it back to what I just said. Self-esteem is built on doing the things you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do them. And that was not how I was living. I was not doing the things I said I was going to do, period, sometimes, but I especially wasn't doing them when I said I was going to do them. Like my word meant nothing to others, but not even to me, you know? And like when I tell myself, you are making your goddamn bed, you dumb little bitch, which is like, you know, that tough love voice, but said with love. I make hotel beds now. Like I can't, it's a compulsion. There is no reason I can't do it. Zero reason. And not made exquisitely. I'm not tucking and folding but I'm pulling, I'm aligning, I'm pillows. That's all. And that's all it needs to be. You know what I mean? It's like showing who's boss. Me. I am. And you're gonna make the bed.
I love everything you just said. I was wondering, like, what would you say to people? Because I feel like you and I have a lot in common, that rebellious thinking, the I don't want to go to these meetings, these people are all going to be losers, like
Mm,
they couldn't handle it, they couldn't make it work.
yes, they couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah. I mean, it really is, as they say, for me, it was last house on the block. I don't want
Yeah,
any part of this.
yeah.
I don't want to hear these slogans are just like make my
Oh
skin
my
crawl.
God.
Like, I
Oh, and
don't
the
want,
word God.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to be like these people. So, and also in my mind for quite a while, and I would constantly share about this, I'd be like, I mean, I'm just not convinced it's not a cult, you know? So
Mm.
that was in my head. So what would you say to people? I mean, I know what I would say to people, but what would you say to people that are like, I don't want, like, people
Yeah,
have an image that they
I
go, well, there's
know.
a lot of have tos and there's a lot of group think and there's a lot of, and I don't, that's not for me.
I would say, well, first of all, addressing the cult thing, the easiest thing you can tell people is like, well, we don't have a leader, and we literally all talk shit about ourselves and the program itself all the time. So like, immediately not a cult. Also zero obligation. Also, the only requirement is a desire to stop drinking. You literally don't even have to stop drinking. Sit your ass in the back row, listen. If something really offends you, leave. We all still have free will. But what I will say is our best thinking got us to where we were. That was us. That was us doing our best. So I would, I guess, dare people to put their ego aside and be open to the fact that millions of people of different walks of life, of different economic backgrounds, of different ethnicities, of different sexual orientations have found a magic sauce in this program. So maybe give it, this is the other thing too. It's like the person who goes like, "Oh, meditation, I meditated for a week straight. It does not work." Blah blah blah. It's like, well, that's you didn't do it right. Like it's a practice. You just keep doing it. You know what I mean? It's like if you're gonna go to one meeting and say, well, they mentioned fallen women and how dare they speak disparagingly about it's like, yeah, no, I do hear you. I do hear you. But if you talk to another woman in that meeting who maybe has some time, she could probably give you a very easy workaround to that moment. You know, like, so it's just like, it's that thing of like, whatever you're looking for, you're gonna find. And so, like, when I was first going in there, I was like, okay, I'm looking to prove that these are losers and that they're losers and that this is God, like, this is religious. And pretty quickly, you hear a speaker who goes, I won my first Emmy when I was, when I was still drinking and use. And I know we're supposed to speak vaguely, but like they'll say something like, and you recognize them. Maybe they're an actor or something. And you're like, I won my first thing when I was drunk and I didn't work for 10 years. I got sober and I won 10 more things. And I was living in such lack because I only thought I was worth this one thing. And so they're speaking broadly, but you're like, oh, okay, wait, they're not all losers. Or it's like a girl who like was sexually assaulted a bunch as a teen and basically sex trafficked and like now she runs a company or a charity that like helps women do this and she takes meetings to women who have lived this. I'm like, oh my god, these people are high performing, these people are smart, these people are like doing great things. And thank god I saw that, because I saw that the people were cooler than I thought they were before I was relieved of the burden of God. Um and so I saw, okay, oh, even if I'm not an alcoholic, which I don't think I am, I think I just like I was just in my 20s and I drank a lot, and who doesn't? Like cool people all do. This thing is making people better versions of themselves. So I think part of me was like, give it its fair shot. And that's what I would say to anyone else. Like, hopefully you're given the gift of desperation, they say, or like you are stubborn enough to know that alcohol is no longer the solution. So maybe you don't land in the popular recovery program. Maybe you land in a different program or a harm reduction program. Or maybe you stop drinking and you never go to a meeting and you never drink again. Like maybe you go for 10 years, then you decide to drink again and you live a great life. I've learned all of that is speculation. The only thing I can control is where my feet are right now. And right now, it feels good to go to a meeting and show other people that we're not all crazy losers, that we're like getting better, that there's a lot to be had. I'm still scratching the surface of this program. I couldn't tell you. I don't think I know even 10% of the program. And I don't know how we feel about talking about the program. I haven't been saying the words because like I like don't know what the rule is about talking about
I
recovery
think this
programs?
works because people that need to know what we're talking about, I think, know what we're talking about.
Okay, okay,
And
okay, good.
my feeling too is that I mean, I just came into it with so much, what they say, rejection with a before
Oh,
investigation,
yes.
right? Contempt
Yes.
prior to
To
investigation.
investigation.
Yeah, I had a lot of what I thought it was going to be, and I was really ready for everybody. Well, and this is, I talked about this in my book, but many years before I got sober, I went with a friend to a meeting to support him because he had a really bad problem.
Yeah, and you
Then I
were being
sat
a
in the
good
back and
friend.
I took the do you have a drinking problem quiz, and
Oh
it
my God.
according to them, oh, it was a very bad problem. I
That
answered
drinking
yes.
quiz is so funny. It is so crazy.
It's
Sorry, go
very
on.
rigid. It's a
Yeah.
very rigid test. I was like, okay, I mean, if by the letter of the law, I guess I have to answer yes, but there was a lot of extenuating circumstances. Like,
Sure.
come on. So, according to them, I answered like 20 out of 22 questions yes. And they're like, oh, you definitely
I
have a
mean,
problem. And I was
get thee
like,
to a hospital.
but it was another like 10 years before I quit drinking.
Yeah.
But I just remember thinking like, okay, I don't have any better ideas. So I'm going to go to a meeting. I can't think of another way to do this. Um, and then I thought, oh, this is like a cult. These people all really want me to join up. And I remember the feeling of kind of disappointment when I was like, but when I don't go to a meeting, how come nobody like calls me and like tries to find out where I am? Like
Yeah.
nobody seemed to care. And then that
Mm-mm.
was another little resentment I had. I was like, some cult you guys are.
I'm about to
Nobody's
leave. Does anyone care? Classic alcoholic,
nobody's
though.
following me out to my car going, you must stay for the end of the meeting. I was like,
Totally.
these people are not into it enough, apparently. So then I had to like decide for myself, like, okay, no, I think I really do want this help. I do want this support. And I realized, oh, I have to be the one that reaches out. Oh, I have to join up. Oh, I have to call people. Or they
Yeah.
will forget it. Nobody's interested in pressuring you because all of us alkies are like interested in ourselves.
And it doesn't work. I will say, in my experience and from what I've seen, it really has to be that you want it, or part of you wants it, or part of you is at least willing to give it a very fair shot. Because yeah, I don't know. In my experience, it's like it's paid me back tenfold to the point where I remember distinctly scrounging for quarters to bring $1 to the meeting. And like, this is not me gloating or anything like that. I fully give like $5, and a part of that's inflation. But like, it's more representative of the fact that like I have the money to give, and I know it's because of my sobriety and this program, and that whereas you are not required nor expected to give a dime, I want to. I want my meeting that I go to all the time to thrive. And I want there to be funds there to give away big books to people who are super skeptical. Like I want like and if it's like one of those things like we didn't make rent, we're passing the basket, I'll toss in 20 because I'm just like, this is worth every penny because they don't even demand it. And you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like it this recovery program that we're in is like truly, and I hope there's a documentary about it at some point. It's like I think one of the most beautiful things to exist on the planet. Just like we're all servants. Okay, good. That sound like a cult, but we're all like, self-supporting. We
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 all wear
take
special
turns.
outfits.
Yes, we all drink a sweet, sweet juice every day. I mean, the coffee in recovery rooms will put hair on every part of your body, but like that's it. That even got me there at first. It was this Miss Penny at my regular meeting made this fucking rocket fuel coffee with like French vanilla coffee mate, and that sugar and caffeine at 7:30 a.m. got my ass. And when I didn't have a car, I was walking like a mile and a half or whatever to this meeting at 7 a.m. to get this go-go juice, and like listen and like, yeah, it's just like, it's magical, I think.
So tell me about before we go, like, so life now. So you're a touring comedian.
Yeah. Touring comedian.
You have a special out.
Yeah, oh my God, I have a special out called Twink Death. It's on YouTube. I talk about sobriety a little bit because obviously it's a big part of my life. I think the second hour that I'm working on too will also have like a sobriety chunk because it really is important. And I think it's fun that like if you watch the special, I am quite quote unquote dirty. I'm a little blue in a sex forward sort of way. Like I'm not like violent or like aggro. It's like very just like Nikki Glazer-esque, like
Yes.
sex and dating. And I think it is important for people to see that, like, oh, you can be very out of pocket even as a completely sober person. Like, I do think I have found my genuine voice, whether or not the masses love it. Like, I think the people who like it really do enjoy it. And so I will always be. Oh my God, I hope I'm always sober. I never want to lose the feeling I have most days. But yeah, I always talk about sobriety a little bit. But yeah, I'm a touring comic. I do my own hour on the road. I open for people like Fortune Feimster and Taylor Tomlinson. I write. I'm on like a Sirius XM morning show usually once a week. Jeff Lewis live. He's like a Bravo
Oh,
celebrity.
of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
And then I do all sorts of like I want to act. I want to be in front of the camera. Like it's that thing too. If it's like little Zach, like thought I was gonna be on a billboard for like a CW show, like hot teens in the wilderness. But like obviously that door is closed. But like I'm doing like things that are adjacent to that. And like I really do genuinely love my life. And like my problems are quite luxury problems today, and I'm holding space always for that to change. And I'm, deeply rooted in gratitude for what I have today, because you don't always wake up with the things you went to bed with. And so it's just like, yeah, like let's be as happy as we can be with what we've got. And what I've got is because of sobriety.
What an amazing way to end it. Thank you so much for being on the show. And I wish you all the success. And I'll see everybody next week. Bye.
Feeling like